Hello, my name is Brian Simmons, Product Marketing Manager for GarlockSafety Systems located in Plymouth, Minnesota. In today's training, we're going to talk about the Set and Prevent RailGuard 200 base, the base that's OSHA compliant, at a lower cost, equaling the best value in the industry. Now let's look at the value proposition for the Set and Prevent base, the base that's OSHA compliant, available at a lower cost, equaling the best value in the industry. The Set and Prevent base is tested to meet all federal and state OSHA regulations and standards and is third-party certified. We also made it foolproof, meaning that the base can only be pinned into place in correct compliant orientations. Lower cost is achieved by high volume production processes and natural materials that allows us to produce a base at a fraction of a price compared to our traditional metal base. We're also lowering the cost of safety by offering an inexpensive optional form-fitting rubber pad for delicate roofs. At the time of introduction, the Set and Prevent base will be priced 27% less than our traditional metal base. All of this adds up to the best value in the industry. It delivers 95% of the benefits of our traditional metal base, but costs 27% less. If you look at the traditional equation for a value proposition, it's benefits divided by cost. Our traditional metal base delivers 100% of the benefits at 100% of the cost, and its value integer is 1. If we look at the Set and Prevent base, we deliver 95% of the benefits divided by 73% of the cost equals a value integer of 1.3, or 30% more value in the Set and Prevent base than our traditional metal base. So this provides a great value for long-term Set and Prevent applications on rooftops. Now let's cover some of the product details. The new innovative Set and Prevent RailGuard 200 base is made from a special blend of concrete. It's similar to a lot of other outdoor concrete products we see around us every day. Retaining walls, cinder blocks, bridges, roads, curbs, and so forth. It does use a unique casting process that results in high efficiency, lower cost, and high performance. And this combination results in high density and an 8,500 psi breaking strength. The block is internally reinforced with rebar. It has 2 posts to accept standard RailGuard 200 railing. And we're offering an inexpensive optional black rubber pad. And one thing you'll note that's sort of unique is that we provide 6 channelways or 6 weep holes for any collected water in the pad itself, so that can drain away. There's also 2 weep holes in the block itself that allows that water to drain away. We want to make sure we eliminate as much standing water we can on our roofs to prevent mosquitoes from hatching, bacteria, and so forth. Now let's continue on with some additional product details. It weighs 103 pounds compared to 90 pounds in our traditional base. It's fully OSHA compliant for both state and federal OSHA standards and regulations and third-party certified. It's made in the USA. It uses galvanized handles and post holes for lasting durability. It has 2 3/8-inch diameter handles for easy carrying and lifting. Rails attach into the post receptacles for both straight runs and quarters. And it's compatible with our base transporter. So that little piece of metal bridging the 2 posts together, that's where the base transporter hooks onto, that allows it to be lifted entirely off the ground for easy transportation and positioning. So we can hook on the base transporter, wheel it across a parking lot or a roof, and put it in place. Now let's cover the product specifications. As I mentioned before, it weighs 103 pounds each. It has a galvanized steel insert with thick galvanized plating for long-lasting durability. Carries a 1-year manufacturer's warranty against defects in materials and workmanship. It has a natural stone color as well as a galvanized silver finish. The base itself is 29.5 inches long, which is going to result in a 2-inch additional rail setback compared to our traditional metal base, as well as a 5-inch additional base setback. It has 5-inch inner post rail spacings, no change from our current metal base. It's 9.5 inches wide and 4.3 inches tall for the base itself, a total height of 7.13 inches. Now we can review the installation flexibility. We can make 45-degree corners by putting the base right in the corner at a 45-degree angle. Of course, we can do straight runs as well. We can also configure to do diagonal corners, as shown here. And if we're going to wrap a piece of equipment or put it in a non-closed loop system, outriggers are still required to be OSHA compliant. Now let's look at some other great applications for the Set and Prevent base. The first one is coming soon. You will see an Everlast 200 warning line system that uses Set and Prevent bases, metal stanchions, and plastic pendant lines to create very price competitive permanent warning line systems. Another great application is for low slope standing seam roofs. Typically those standing seams are between 18 and 24 inches wide, and our base and pad is 12 inches wide. So it fits right in between the two standing seams. The only thing to take care of is to make sure the spacing is laid out properly so all of the bases fit in between the seams. And sometimes that means ordering a different size rail to accommodate that spacing, or an adjustable rail where we can slide that rail, make it longer or shorter to accommodate the seam spacing. Another area we're investigating is social distancing and crowd control and pedestrian traffic guidance control systems. Its long narrow profile lends itself to being in this orientation to provide pedestrian guidance and traffic ways. Now let's compare the Set and Prevent base to our traditional cast iron RailGuard 200 base. Earlier in the presentation, I talked about the fact that the Set and Prevent base delivers 95% of the benefits of our traditional metal base. Let's look at what some of those differences are. The first one is because the Set and Prevent base has two ports, you cannot make a T configuration. And normally this is not an issue. We're just not making that many T's up on rooftops anyway. The one application where it does become important, and that is for hurricane rated zones, and we're going to install a hurricane rated system. In those systems, if we have a long length of rail, every so often we need to put in a 5-foot outrigger to withstand the high winds in a hurricane zone. So in that particular location where we need to install a 5-foot outrigger, we would then put in a single metal base where we can then have a T, we can come out with a 5-foot outrigger, and problem solved. It's not compatible with our current InvisiRail adapter. The InvisiRail adapter allows the railing to fold down when people are not on the roof to provide a more pleasing or aesthetically pleasing front to a building, as an example. It can then be folded down and becomes invisible from ground level. We are, however, going to work on, and we are working on, a folding adapter for the Set and Prevent base, so we can then have that same benefit of a folding rail with the Set and Prevent base. There's no toe board option. So the Set and Prevent base is designed for long-term set and prevent fall prevention solutions, and toe boards aren't required for those applications, so no toe board option. It has a natural stone color and a galvanized finish only. Now it can be stained or painted in the field, so you could put in some stain into a pump-up sprayer, spray it brown or mahogany or some other color. You could also paint it. You could use a spray can, or you could use a gallon of paint and a roller. And we would recommend buying an outdoor paint that's suitable for use for curbs, playgrounds, streets, and street marking and things like that. Now, if a person does have a need for some of these things that the Set and Prevent will not deliver, then those needs are best served with our traditional metal base. The last topic to cover today is palletizing for shipping and storage. 10 bases are stacked onto a pallet with 4x4 wood spacers as shown. These bases are then banded in two places, with the banding being stapled to the end grain of the 4x4 to prevent the bands from shipping during transport. A maximum of 2 pallets can be strapped together for shipping. So we build a pallet of 10 and we band that. We build another pallet of 10, we band that. And then we put one on top of each other, and then we band those two packages together. This allows you to cut the banding when they arrive on site. We can remove the top pallet with no other rebanding necessary and ship it out to a job site or location. And we can do the same with the bottom pallet. Again, no rebanding necessary. For static storage, we can actually stack 4 pallets tall, so a total of 40 bases. And this will then minimize floor space consumption in a warehouse, distribution facility, or something like that. So that concludes today's training on the Set and Prevent base. OSHA compliant, lower cost, best value. Thank you.